videotaping. And by videotaping, I mean video phoning. All right, hello everybody, it's Laura Victoria Ward in SoMATic Mat class, and please take this at your own level, which means adjust anything you need to adjust. And if I'm looking weird, it's because I'm on two screens at the same time, and also because I am weird. So there's that. Let's start standing up. Inhaling, oops, stretch, reach out and up. And exhale, soften, let the arms fall. Inhale, stretch, lift your chest, open your heart, reach up to the heavens. And exhale, letting yourself ground down towards the earth. Inhale, opening the chest, lungs, and heart. And exhale, dropping back down. Inhale, arch, lift, open, look up. And exhale and soften. And we're just going to change it slightly just to bring more awareness to this distal part. So you're going to inhale, lift. Once you get to the top, kind of wiggle your fingers around. Wiggle and reach, really stretching. So it's all the fascia in your body getting longer. And then just one side longer and then the other. So we're getting a little bit of side stretch, ideally going into in between our rib cage and pelvis, getting into our QL, giving us a little bit extra length in there, because I know I always need that stretch. And then you're going to bring your hands down. You can palm the hands down, and again, sparkle fingers, just wakening up the space around you and wakening up your sort of sense of your kinesphere. So your realm of movement, all the possibilities around you. And let's just spiral in that. So twisting. I took this breathwork course with Tim Vliet. And one of the exercises in it is this twist. And he recommends that you do it between 2 to 5 minutes every morning. And so I have been doing it, generally for 2 to 3 minutes most mornings. But we're not going to do it for that long right now. Just getting a little spiral in there, working through the horizontal plane. Trying to look all the way behind you. So you might find that one side is much easier to spiral onto than the other. Okay, and then let's let that go. And just, I'm feeling like I want to go into the vertical plane as well with the circle. So cycling in the vertical plane, bending your knees as you need to, just reaching out. Again, expanding your kinesphere, letting your realm of movement get bigger, and then change direction. Sometimes when I'm teaching kids and I have them like put their arms up in the air, it's like this, like they don't have that extra reach. So we want to keep finding that. Think about animals when they wake up, how they do those back stretches and belly stretches. Like we want that too. One more time, inhale at the top and then soften down, shake it out. And let's come down onto the floor. And I have a block, and also I have weights. So I have really light weights. I think they're like 3 pounds or something. If you have those, great, use them. If you don't, no worries. More mat adjusting and camera adjusting. Okay, so let's sit in a cross-legged position, and we're going to, this is for our organs, hydrating our inner body. Circling around, thinking of the smooth surface of the sort of balloon-like diaphragm in here, mobilizing over your organs, over all those exciting things, your liver, your spleen, your stomach, all your intestines, reproductive organs, letting them kind of squish around. So in a perfect world, a lot of those have really smooth sliding surfaces. They're anchored in different places, but usually not to each other very much. Change direction. So like our diaphragm and our liver, we don't want them stuck to each other. We want them to have some mobility. Breathing, moving. I don't know if you guys changed direction, but I did. I don't know if I said it. And let's shift this. We're going to go to the other side with our legs and just spiral one way and then the other. Now, compared to the spiral that we did in the beginning, you can take it just a little deeper. And I'm really using this arm to push against that knee to open up more. And actually what my body wants to do is kind of curl down here. So feel free to listen in, and if something feels like you may want to arch up, but for me, like this curling, it feels somehow really satisfying. So listening into your body and allowing yourself to do that. Take as long as you need. When I do that curl, I feel like it's like this sort of spiral that's coming all the way to my head. And it's getting some nice action in my rotator cuff there, that relationship of my arm to my shoulder. So you can also play with this. Just look here for 1 second, you guys. This idea, once you're there, you can get that movement of your scapula on your back over your ribs. So there's that connection of the arm into the collarbone and the scapula. We want that whole thing to have some mobility. And that, of course, is on the outer surface of your ribs, but underneath that are your lungs. So when we're moving these parts, everything's going to be moving in there. Even your esophagus, right? It's in here. As I move this, there's movement in my esophagus. Oh, the trash people are here. Good, and let's let that go. Even yourself out if you need to. And just take it down the front and snake your spine from side to side. So from your tail to your head, rippling. It's funny because as I do this exercise, I always feel like I'm rippling so much in my spine. And then I'll look at a video, I'll look back at it, and I'm like, well, it's not that much movement. So it's funny how our sensation of something can be different than what's actually happening. And of course, that's all relative to other people. It might seem like I'm moving a lot, but like I don't see as much differentiation as I thought I had. So from that idea, let's come up and let's play with that in the vertical. So there can be a little forward, backward with your shoulders, but letting yourself ripple through, yeah, finding some mobility. And if it's possible, let your head go off vertical. So it's a writing response that we have to keep our head kind of upright. See if you can let that go. You could even change the initiation and give it like the Stevie Wonder, Axl Rose, lead with the head. Yeah, so I could lead with the lower body, initiating from the bottom and then rippling up to the top, or I can lead with the upper body and ripple it down to the bottom. Okay, enough of that. I'm like, it's not that I'm getting dizzy, but I feel like, whoa, we've been doing a lot of that. So let's take the legs out in front of you, back of the hands towards each other, halfway down, and inhale. Just coming into arms out to the side, back of the hands towards each other. Inhale, open chest, lungs, and heart. Exhale, and inhale. Open it up. Exhale. Inhale, open. Exhale. Inhale, open. Exhale. Inhale, open. And it's almost like you're enclosing yourself in a big cape and then opening out and bringing yourself forward. Exhale. Inhale. I'm still feeling the bat energy of Halloween. So letting yourself kind of enclose as the back opens up. Inhale, filling up your lungs. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, last one. Exhale. Inhale. You can grab on, taking it part way down, balancing yourself, point your toes, just one leg at a time, straightening out. If you want to make this a little bit harder, you can let go. I don't know. I feel like if my hip flexors have already done enough, then I want to hold on. But if I feel like, oh, they got more and it's not going to tighten them up too much, I can go without my arms. 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. Feet parallel, and pressing up. Taking it back, inhale, lift. It might be you only go to here, so back could be just butt to the floor, or it could be shooting yourself back. Inhale up, exhale. Use your lungs. So invite the breath in to really fill up your whole torso. Big breathing. 2 more. Last one. Press it up, pulsing, going 1, 2, 3, 4. Head can either be in line, looking forward, or dropped back, whatever feels good to you. Randomly counting 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Take it down. Walk your butt from side to side and fold forward. Breathe and relax. Soften and melt. Imagine that from the soles of your feet, up the back of the leg, through the back of the body, up around to your head, that whole line is opening up. Then you can add a little side-side shifting into it. And then roll up. I want to do a little bit more shoulders into body work, a little bit more, so that we're thinking about our pecs and our lats and how our arms connect in. So just take your hand under your armpit. So here's my pec, here's my lat. I can take my hand so I can feel both of them. And then like bear down as if you're pushing something under the water so you can feel those muscles engage. So you're like, yeah, you can turn your hand, that's it, turn your hand down. Like, you know, if you had a big empty gallon jug and you're trying to shove it under the water, give it that much energy so that you feel those muscles engage. Yeah, and then switch it to the other side, same thing, just feeling like I could do it without engaging my muscles at all, but right now I want to really bear down and push into them. So often I want to move with more economy, but for this we're trying to make those muscles work. Yeah, and then let's take it here. Hands are going to be behind you. We're going to try it with hands in all directions. So hands pushing down, and you're just going to mobilize your ribs in a sort of free flow manner. So it's not do this, do that, but just move them around. Feel the relationship of your arms, your neck, your head into your body as your rib cage and lungs move. Yeah, mobilizing, a little free flow. You can add forward, backward, side, side, up, down. And it's not like you need to stay in this good posture, but you can sink into it and push out of it with a little bit of free flow and fluidity. Yeah, so this is one thing that I've been thinking a lot about, how my arms connect into my body and how to strengthen that connection. Try it with your hands out to the side. You can open them a little wider and get a little more side-side shifting. You don't want to move into like super uncomfortable stuff, but getting some mobility and some relationship between the way that the arms connect in and also pushing into the ground. So there's a sense of groundedness in this, or a sense of the earth underneath you. This is just a weird exercise that because of all the stuff I'm doing on pole, and I'm like, I need to have more integration there. And I think a lot of women don't have the best relationship between arms, shoulders, and torso. All right, last one is with our hands back. This one you're gonna really be able to open up more. So you might focus more on the up, but then try to get some of the down as well, some of the curling, but arching. Just feeling into that relationship of even hands through your forearm, up through your upper arm, into the shoulders, into the pecs, into the lats, into the collarbones, into the ribs, even into the lungs. And if we can even think into the esophagus, like this movement of the upper chest and neck and throat is esophagus. And it needs to have some mobility in there. Again, it's going down that central channel of your body. You want to have some movement and free movement in there. All right, enough of that. Shake it out, let it go. Yeah, as I get into my, like I've been really into all of these things up here, like clearing out lymph, having freedom in the esophagus, all this stuff of these upper organs and how they relate. And Bibiana Badenes, who's a somatics person, she's also a member of ISMETA, she has this whole thing of using the hands as sort of like the wings of the heart. And Gil Hedley, who's an anatomist, would say, where's your heart? And if you go here, he's like, actually, it's in your whole body, because it's your blood flow is moving through the heart. That whole system of heart and blood circulation it's a heart system. So as your blood is moving through, your heart and your blood all know the same information, right? They're all moving through your body. So just to expand our idea of what our heart is within our own body, let's take it down to the floor. He also does this heart dance, which is sort of the way the movement of the heart, how the blood comes in and goes out, which is worth seeing on YouTube. Okay, let's do some spiraling lower body, just dropping your knees from side to side. Yeah, and Bibiana was in the embodiment conference with her whole session was about sort of the hands and the heart, this connection. And she's in Spain, she's Spanish. And then you're going to take it a little deeper. You can cross over. So as I do this, I really feel the sort of side-sidedness of my hands and how that moves through my back. So really opening up. This opens up a lot the space in between my shoulder blades, my rhomboids. And I feel that big wingspan. And then let's come back into center. And hands behind your head, cross body movement, contralateral, one leg touching, going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Let's go a little faster, same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, and relax. Let's open up into an X and just take a heel rock. So in your X, heel rock, you're trying to release pelvis, rib cage, lungs, softening the whole system. Let it go. Breathe into it. Sending a wave of movement up and down through your body. And then let that go. And just have a moment of stillness, maybe feeling the sort of trace form of that movement in your body, or the energetic memory of the movement. Just letting go, breathing into it. Feeling your lungs. Breathing deep down into your belly, or imagining so that your breath is moving your diaphragm downward and it moves your organs. Yeah, so we can use that breath all the way to sort of pump our whole torso so that all of those organs, all the way even down into our reproductive organs, get some energy. So there's some extra movement and blood flow. And then we are going to take a heel rock on one diagonal. So you're just going to rock one heel. And in a perfect world, you can get that to go up to the opposite hand, finding that diagonal through your body. Relax your neck and jaw, relax your tongue, soften your face. And then release. And if you can't, don't worry about it. It's fine. This is all process. Do the other side. Yeah, and then let that go. And we're going to do a body half, which is another Bartenia fundamental. So from the work of Vliet Bartenia. Body half is just an elbow to knee on one side and slide it out. And then elbow to knee on the other, slide it out. You could also imagine that you're listening to your knee. So you're kind of like a lizard. One half and then the other. This is homolateral movement. You move one half and then the other side. This is homolateral movement though with an upper-lower pattern. Okay, let's take it all in and just roll from side to side. Onto one side, open it up, and then onto the other side. I have to say, my deltoids are so sore. And I thought it's from pole class, but I thought it was because I was like getting so much stronger. But then once I rolled onto it, I remembered we had been doing shoulder stands. And it's been such a long time since I've done shoulder stands. So my body totally felt it. And then come in, and not like yoga shoulder stands, but like one shoulder stands. All right, so because of that, we're actually I'm gonna actually work on those because I need it to sort of massage them out. So we're going to do this pelvic lift with a shift onto your side. You can go as far or as not far as you want. So what it is you lift up and then you just reach out through one side and come back in and down, pressing up. I am folding the elbow in on the side I'm rolling onto and lifting and reaching. If this in any way does not feel good in your body, don't do it. You can also go up and just push and come down, up and just push. So if you want to leave your arms more neutral, you can. But if you feel good about this, wow, go for it. Yeah, the only exercise that could be considered a prep for a shoulder stand that I'm aware of. I'm sure there's other ones, but this is a really basic one. And then relax that, come in, and let's do regular old circles without separating your legs. So massaging through your back. Letting the water in your body slosh around so you are soft and easy, letting your spine move, massaging through your sacrum, sacroiliac, getting a little massage, change direction. So this part of your back, or my back, right down here, is kind of like this nexus where all of this fascia is coming and connecting in, right? So many things coming into that lower sacrum area. And at the same time, there's a whole bunch of nerves going out to go down your legs. So that can be a real area of sensation. Massage, soften, hydrating the tissue in there. And let's come back in and go for happy baby after that. Letting your happy baby be happy and baby-like. Wiggling around, softening into your body. Listening into what you need and moving. Yeah. Thinking of happy baby as being like a moving pose, not a stillness pose. And then coming back in, and we're going to open the feet wide so they're as wide as your edges of your sticky mat, and internally rotate one leg at a time. I have my arms up in a V shape, which feels good to me. Internal rotation, letting the tissue and the muscles in those legs really spiral inward. And if you want to take it a little deeper, you can hook your heel, breathing into it. Even yourself out. And let's come back to the same idea as the heel rock, but this time your feet are going to be on the floor, so you can kind of push and pull. Let your spine ripple and wave. So for me, it tends to be that this part of me, my sternum, gets a little less action. And so if I just fake it a little bit I can get more of a wave through there. And then once I've faked it a little bit, then it feels more natural. Yeah, and then let's go with some free flow movement in your spine. So you can add a theta breath to this. It's a soft S sound, not a hard one, not too much push, not too much force, but soft S, and then freeing up your whole body as much as you can, using the 3 dimensions, and then letting those 3 dimensions really ripple and wave and move into each other. So let your exhale just last as long as it feels good. It doesn't have to last forever. And I think that my headphones in this cut out the sound. I think it's not supposed to happen. So invite your belly to stick out, to do whatever it wants to do. Imagine for just a couple of breaths that you're not made of muscles and bones, but you're just fluid. And that fluid can do all sorts of things. So letting yourself tune into the fluidity of your body. Ripple, wave, spiral. It might be much bigger than what I'm doing or much smaller. You could really roll around. Up to you. What feels good to you? Jaw, neck, and tongue. Easy and loose. Good. And then let's just do a shake out. Shake, 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 shake. Bounce around. Let it go. You can add sound. I think you're all muted, so feel free to make a lot of noise. And then roll yourself back and forth, rounding through your spine. The sun is coming right in here. And we have those, I think they're even called glass curtains, but it's still pretty bright. And I can see all the dust flying through the air. If you want to hang out in your plow for a minute, go for it. All right. And then let's flip over. Coming onto hands and knees. So again, let's play with that relationship of our arms into our back. So just letting yourself kind of dip, circle, roll. Could just be dropping and lifting. Or you can do the circles where you're circling around inside. Or you can go for something more freeform that's doing a mixture of all those things. Letting your head and tail move in whatever way feels good. So a little bit more free flow movement and some kind of semi-cat-cow, maybe with more mobility. Just inviting some freedom into your body and also feeling into how those arms relate into your back, into your front, onto the sides of your body. And also thinking that, like, as we're in these weight-bearing exercises and as we're moving around, we're also developing the integrity of our bones. And anytime we're working with the integrity of our bones, we're also working with our immune system. And of course, movement is also going to stimulate your lymphatic system. Movement and breath. And let's let that go. Just shake out your hands for a second, and we're going to go with this from the hand. Since we've done kind of a lot of stuff on our wrists and I keep talking about hands. What we're gonna do is you're gonna make like a cuff and you're gonna kind of pull, but then you're gonna move. So I'm actually very sticky. I've been using vegetable glycerin because it helps me stick to the pole. So that's my moisturizer. Just plain vegetable glycerin is basically like putting glue all over your body, like stick right on the pole. But it's great for fascia. Like if I slide across, I'm not gonna have the same effect on moving my fascia as if I stick a little bit. So sticking and moving, and I'm letting my radius and ulna, the two bones in my arm. So when my arm is open, they're like this. And when I twist it, the radius crosses over the ulna. So when we're on the computer a lot, we're in that twisted position, or if we're on our phones and there's not a lot of movement, what we want to do is basically, as I'm moving my hand, letting the space between my two bones have some massage that's coming from the inside and the outside. So I'm also slowly moving my hand up my arm. Yeah, and you may find there's places that you need it more. So I'm just gonna take my hands, grab onto this part where mine gets really tight, and then move in and out with that. This type of massage where you've got something on the outside and there's movement on the inside, for me, has been the most effective way of like healing tissue, getting tension out, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, shake it out, shake it out, shake it out. And let's just do a pull down the whole arm in towards your ribs. So it's like lymphatic drainage, and also giving that fascia that space. But you could also pull out, right? You can go out and away towards your hand. Like that is another thing. So we don't want to think everything has to go in one direction. Like the more sort of multi-directional our fascia is, the more integrity it's going to have. So shake that out, switch it to the other side. Start with, I'm just initially grabbing like around my wrist, moving that. I can feel the bones moving. I'm more holding the outside and letting my hand move the space in between the two bones. Letting my hand move wherever it wants to, just feeling into that. Like if little kids were in school and had some of this, how would they learn to touch each other, themselves, like in ways that are actually productive and healing? And then I'm going to get up here and kind of dig in and move inside that. So you want to be working with yourself in a sense of touch that doesn't feel too painful, but you really have to use your own judgment as to how hard or soft you want to do it. Because even very light movement or very light touch can have a big effect. Shake it out, let it go, and then pull on the big sleeve. Are those shiny pants that you have on, Denise? Those look so cool. Oh my God, I love it. Oh my God. I wore my bones for a class on Saturday, my bone suit, which I think I'm gonna do again because it was actually kind of cool to look at. It was fun. I should get like an organs suit and then we can really talk about what we're moving. So much fun. There's also another guy in the embodiment conference, this guy, Pete Banbury, who does this mapping of muscles by drawing them on in different colors. So I like did my quads and my leg by drawing it on, which is pretty cool. Like when you see how things move. Okay, let's come back onto our bellies on our mat. So this is an Irene Dowd exercise combined with a Sarah Nice exercise. Sarah Nice was one of my ballet teachers who was like, had me pull myself around the house like this just to get that plug in of pecs and lats. So that was the Sarah Nice part. You can just rock it, feeling how your pecs connect in, feeling your lats in that push-pull. And whenever I say this is a someone's exercise, I have probably bastardized it incredibly. So it's my version. It's the Laura Ward version of anyone else's exercise. Okay, of Irene Dowd, who's an anatomist. So here we're going to drop our head, roll down by looking. Look down towards the floor, look towards your pubic bone. Now, your knees will actually bend, but you're not trying to bend them. And then pelvis drops. Roll it up through your spine. Look out and up and lift the legs. Drop the legs, look down towards your belly button. You can push with your arms, and then as you come through, rolling it back up, pull, lifting the legs. Head drops, roll it down, and push. Pelvis drops, pull through, lift, head drops, roll it down, push, pelvis drops, lift, 2 more times. I'm not sure if she does the leg lift. It's been a long time since I've taken a class with Irene Dowd. And then relax, head on your hands, curl your toes under, push up and down. Breathe, soften. Head, neck, shoulders, easy and loose. This is the Nijinsky that I think, well, I'm sure I'm not the only person that ever invented this, but me and some other movement analysts, I think Annabella and Colleen Wall Cully, we were playing with these ideas. Let that go, bend your knees, fall from side to side. Swish, swash, as if you have a big bushy tail. So I can turn my head towards my feet, which actually feels really good and adds my upper body in a way. Let's see how it feels to go away. If I turn, it's weird to turn away, but I can do it. Yeah, it feels most natural to turn my head towards. And then come in, and let's take the arms out in front, legs behind, pumping breath in through your nose, out through your mouth. And press up. You can play with your head up there. When I can feel how much my whole rib cage and lungs can move as I move my head. And then you can also kind of sink into it a little bit. Sink into your shoulders, push through. If it doesn't feel good in your back, don't do it. But let yourself play with that. And if you want to bend your knees, try to touch your toes to your head. You can. Then take it back, stick out your butt. Drop it down into your child's pose. Wiggle around. Big breathing into your back. And then shift your weight back towards your heels and come up. And we're going to do a shift between forearm plank to side plank, forearm plank, side plank, with something happening in the middle. So coming to a forearm plank, one knee to the floor at a time, parallel. Dropping down, going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Take your bottom arm, put it towards your elbow. Which bottom arm? Either one. Press up, pulsing up with your waist for 20. Going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Back to your forearm plank. This time you're going to twist underneath for 10, going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Bottom arm, other side, pulsing up, going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Come into your forearm plank. Open your feet wide so that they're at the edges of your sticky mat circles. 4 in one direction, and then the other way. And then take it down and relax again. Wiggle it out, jiggle, shake your butt, soften your spine. And then let's roll onto our side. And just Batma up to the side. So we'll do just 10. I like to turn this leg out, my toes are up, my heel is down. You can be here or here, whatever feels good to you. Kicking up, going 1. I'm gonna flex up, point down. 2, 3, 4. Oh yeah, I have my block, I have my weights, we haven't used them at all. 6, typical, 7, 8, 9, 10. We're gonna do a push forward and backward, like sort of regular Pilates, but I'm gonna let your upper body move a bit more. So one thing I noticed in ballet class, I was teaching last night, but for me at my age, like in back Batma, kicking back, like there's a stretch that I get in my guts that I really don't get doing anything else. So I'm going to invite you to work with that to see if you can get that extra stretch really opening into the back space. So you can flex forward and point back. You don't need to totally stabilize your torso on this because I want you to actually have some freedom. So just reach, really reaching into the back space. And if your shoulder moves forward and backward, that's fine. And my bottom leg is wiggling around, that's fine too. Last one. Take it behind you, circles, pointed toes. Breathe into it. And then flex and go the other way. And tap it out for a second. Yeah, because I took ballet yesterday, I'm like totally feeling it in my piriformis and rotators, glutes. So we're gonna do a quad stretch. You can bend the bottom leg so it's easy to balance. Take your leg back. Try to not let your knee pop up too much. Keep it sort of parallel to the floor. Breathe into it. You can push it back further if you want, or heel into your butt. Playing back and forth with that. And then let it go. Roll over onto your back. Cross your ankle over your knee. Draw the leg in towards you. If you want to straighten the bottom leg, go for it. Really work with what feels right to you. Breathe into it. Big breathing. And then release that. Give it a shake. Shake it all around. And let's roll it over onto the other side. Starting with Batmas. I like to stay in line for these. I don't want to do that Pilates pike, but just straight up and down. Flex up, point down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now going for that little bit of a pike. And I'm gonna squish so I can not kick the table. Flex forward and point back. Really trying to open up the front of the torso. So it's not just abs, you're also getting a stretch in there in your organs. With most people with a sedentary life, there's a lot of sort of settling down into our bodies. We want to get that to have some some movement too. Totally not counting here. So let's do 2 more. Take it into the back space and make circles, lengthening out. And then flex, change direction. And then just let it go, give it a tap, bang it out. Not so that it hurts, but just so that you're getting some action. And then take it back. And again, not too high, sort of parallel to the ground. And you can play with kicking your leg further back or really bringing your heel into your butt. They're going to both stretch slightly different areas, so it's good to do a little bit of both. And then release that, roll over onto your back. Cross your ankle over your knee, draw it in towards you. Breathe into it. Really full, deep breaths. And then let that go. And again, shake it out. Shake out the arms. Let it all go. And let's roll back and forth again. Yeah, we're kind of getting towards the end. So I just want to do one more thing with spiraling and working across your butt. So this, the first time I'm going to do it, I'm just going to roll so that I'm really rolling through my glute and my piriformis. So when I get onto that side, I'm getting into those big muscles. And then I'm going to stay on one side and kind of move my body around so that I get the shear force of my mat is kind of grabbing my butt, and as I move, it just moves those muscles and fascia differently, which feels really good on my greater trochanter. So this tends to get a little congested for me, and when I do this, it shifts that a lot. And then try it on your other side. And then you're going to spiral and go down to the floor. Have a moment of, I want to say submission, but I really mean surrender. Just letting go. You do not need to submit. Submission and surrender. 2 slightly different things. Good, and then coming in, sliding your feet underneath you. We're gonna roll forward and backward. So if it hurts your knees, you're not gonna do it. But if it hurts your knees, just come to a hang. If your knees are okay, take your weight forward and then back, moving your hands as necessary. Doesn't matter if your knees and heels touch down, but if they do, great. If they don't, no worries. And then you're going to stop in the squat and just let your head hang down, relaxing up here in your shoulders as much as you can. Relax your head. Let it fall. And then slowly straightening your legs, taking your tail up to the air. Open your feet a little bit wider, shift from side to side. Let your head hang down. This is where I always think, oh my God, I'm moving my spine so much, I'm really rippling. And then I look and like, oh, it's not really moving that much. And then come into center and shake it out. And you know what? It doesn't really need to move that much for most people. Just some movement is better than not much. And come up to a stand.